people who are up in my DMs trying to guess what character I'm playing, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna answer your DMs. There's the trouble, alright? You just can't check in. You're not an adult. Jeffrey Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos. You did it! Everyone's just ignoring my phone calls. Whatever, it's chill. I don't even care. I'm gonna be on a talk show tonight. I'm gonna talk shit about them on the talk show. Talking shit on the talk show. This is the one time in my life where if you have something to say, I don't want to hear it.
Rachel Zegler said she was taking a break, but she suddenly reappeared in the Hollywood spotlight. And like clockwork, the drama followed her.
I have nothing interesting to say. I look insane.
Less than 6 months after Snow White flopped both in theaters and across the internet, Zegler is now fronting a brand new movie, and let's just say the off-camera chatter is already turning heads.
Shouldn't be her, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I have no self-control. Sorry, Mr. Mouse.
The movie's called She Gets It From Me, a comedy drama about a rebellious ex-punk rocker mom and her equally complicated daughter. Rachel plays the daughter and Marissa Tomei. Yes, that Marissa Tomei stars as the mom. Sounds like a slam dunk on paper, right? Well, not quite. The moment this casting dropped, the internet lit up with a very different reaction.
The movie was absolutely terrible. It's not the single worst movie I've ever seen, but in every way that the movie differed from the beloved 1937 original, it was worse.
Wyver again? Has Hollywood learned nothing? And most damning of all, isn't she box office poison? Industry insiders were reportedly stunned by the casting decision, especially after the wave of backlash Rachel faced during her Snow White press tour. From politically charged interviews to dismissive comments about the original film's legacy, many expected her to step back, let the heat die down, and lay low for a while. Instead, she's diving headfirst into another starring role, and not just in any project. This one comes from Embankment Films, an indie studio known for emotionally rich, critically ambitious dramas, the kind that thrive on credibility and awards buzz.
I'm a narcissist.
I'm breaking swap. When?
And now they've cast perhaps the most controversial young actress working today. Behind closed doors, the decision is being described as high risk, high reward, but some are starting to question whether the reward even exists anymore. Here's the twist. While the studio's staying quiet, whispers are already slipping out, and not everyone behind the scenes is thrilled. Creative clashes, tense rehearsals, and looming PR headaches. The film hasn't even finished shooting, and yet the drama is already in full swing.
It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful.
From the outside, She Gets It From Me looks like a soft indie pivot for Rachel Zegler, a chance to move past the Disney controversy and show she can lead something grounded, emotional, and character-driven. And on paper, it should work. She's starring opposite Marissa Tomei, an Academy Award winner with decades of industry respect, and the film is directed by acclaimed German filmmaker Julia von Hind. Press releases are pitching it as a female-led passion project rich in generational themes and emotional depth. But behind the scenes, the reality may not be as smooth as it's being sold.
Like, in the eyes of the law, you have to be nice to me and I'm an adult.
According to a source close to the production, things got off to a rocky start. Rachel came in with a strong idea of how she wanted to portray the role, but director Julia von Hind had a very different vision. The clash reportedly escalated during early script table reads, with discussions growing increasingly tense, eventually requiring producers to step in and mediate. Rachel wants to play the daughter as a kind of misunderstood modern rebel, the insider revealed, but the director is pushing for something more raw, less polished, someone who isn't always likable. And here's where it gets interesting. Apparently, Rachel wasn't exactly thrilled about being told her character needed less glamour and more grit.
I don't want people to see me in a weakened state.
And that's not the only creative divide. Tomei, known for her emotionally layered performances, reportedly pushed for improvised scenes, moments that felt raw, vulnerable, and authentic. But insiders say Rachel wasn't comfortable straying from the script, preferring the structure of tightly crafted dialogue. She likes to rehearse extensively, one source explained. Marissa doesn't. None of this necessarily spells doom for the film, but it's clear this isn't the low-key comeback many expected. Instead, it's shaping up to be another potential powder keg. And with production still underway, the pressure is only mounting.
If you have any opinions, I don't want to hear.
If you have any opinions, I don't want to hear them. While the public-facing narrative paints this as a graceful artistic collaboration, the behind-the-scenes energy suggests something else entirely. A second source close to the production described the set's mood as fragile, not chaotic or explosive, but undeniably strained. People walk on eggshells around Rachel, they said. She's not yelling or making scenes, but the energy shifts the moment she enters. The tension, in part, reportedly stems from the baggage she's still carrying from the Snow White fallout. Insiders whispered that even during early casting talks for She Gets It From Me, there was some quiet internal resistance.
Zegler's career now looking like it is seriously on live support.
It wasn't an easy sell, as someone familiar with the early development process confirmed. Distributors were hesitant. Rachel's name isn't exactly associated with safe PR right now. Still, the producers decided to give her another shot, hoping that pairing her with Marissa Tomei would soften her image and create an on-screen contrast that would benefit both actresses. However, insiders say it hasn't turned into the mentorship many expected. They're professionals, don't get me wrong, said one crew member, but don't expect any warm, fuzzy mother-daughter moments off camera. It's more about mutual respect from a distance.
It's Hollywood, baby.
One particularly awkward moment allegedly occurred during an early rehearsal when Tomei suggested playing an emotional scene more subtly. Instead of adjusting, Zegler reportedly shot back with, "Well, that's not how Gen Z does things," a comment that left the room in stunned silence. Marissa simply nodded and moved on, according to the source, but the message was clear. They weren't speaking the same language. The irony here is that the entire film is supposed to explore generational emotional dynamics between mothers and daughters. Things like trauma, misunderstood intentions, and identity clashes. Yet, off-screen, the actors are struggling to find their rhythm, leading some to wonder whether art is imitating life or if the film might end up being more self-revealing than anyone anticipated. It's not just the relationship between Rachel and Marissa causing concern. Whispers from the production suggest that director Julia Von Hind is having a tough time managing the creative tensions simmering beneath the surface. On paper, she seemed like the perfect fit, an internationally respected filmmaker known for weaving emotion into bold, socially aware narratives. But sources say this project is pushing her patience. Julie is being pulled in 3 directions, said one person close to the production. There's the script, the performances, and then the personalities, especially one personality. Apparently, a recurring point of friction has been tone.
I'm the hottest person in the world. You the one?
Julia reportedly wants to keep the film grounded, intimate, and emotionally raw, but Rachel is allegedly pushing for a more pop, edgy, and stylized delivery. She's not wrong for having a vision, one crew member admitted. But when you're not the director and the director keeps having to rein you in, it gets tiring. There's also quiet chatter that Rachel's acting style, big, expressive, and hyperverbal, clashes with Tomei's more restrained, intuitive approach. It's like watching 2 movies happening at once. One observer bluntly stated, "This isn't the first time something like this has happened." Critics of Rachel's Snow White press tour noted how she often seemed to clash with the film's tone, offering brash takes when the studio needed poise. That same tendency appears to be resurfacing, but this time it's happening during filming, not on the press circuit. Behind the camera, there's talk of creative containment. Some say the director is trying to work around these issues rather than address them directly, isolating certain scenes, limiting interactions, and relying heavily on post-production to create cohesion. That's not uncommon in films with big personalities, one insider explained. But when you start doing it mid-shoot, it usually means something went sideways. Of course, none of this has been confirmed by the studio, and official statements remain glowing and filled with the usual PR polish. But the silence from the stars themselves. No behind-the-scenes Instagram posts, no jokey TikToks from Rachel, speaks volumes. When even the social media darlings go quiet, people start wondering what's really happening off-screen. Adding even more fuel to the fire is the bizarre decision to keep the production under unusually tight wraps. For a film with 2 high-profile leads, a celebrated director, and a storyline practically begging for press attention, She Gets It From Me has been operating under near radio silence. Insiders say even some supporting cast members weren't allowed full access to the script until their shoot days, which is almost unheard of in a mid-budget indie project. "It's like we're shooting a Marvel movie," one crew member reportedly joked, except the stakes are egos, not superheroes.
Put another cage out for its women in it, make it more.
It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I know you can get on here. Yeah, hold on.
All right.